Assalamu alaikum students. I am Dr. Liza Salim from Government Degree Girls College Gulistan-e-Johar, Block 12, Karachi. Today I am delivering a lecture on Young's double slit experiment from first year physics, chapter 9. The Dutch physicist Christian Huygens thought that light was a wave, but Newton did not. Newton thought that there were other explanations for color and for the interference and diffraction effects that were observable at the time. The acceptance of wave character of light came many years later in 1801 when the English physicist Thomas Young demonstrated optical interference with his double slit experiment. If there were not one but two sources of waves, the waves could be made to interfere, as in the case of waves on water. If a light is an electromagnetic wave, it must therefore exhibit interference effect under appropriate circumstances. In Young's experiment, sunlight was passed through a pinhole on a board. The emerging beam fell on two pinholes on a second board. The light emanating from the two pinholes then fell on a screen where a pattern of bright and dark spots was observed. This pattern, called fringes, can only be explained through interference, a wave phenomenon. We can analyze double slit interference with the help of figure 1, which depicts an apparatus analogous to Young's apparatus. Light from a monochromatic source falls on a slit S0. The light emanating from S0 is incident on two other slits S1 and S2 that are equidistant from S0. A pattern of interference fringes on the screen is then produced by the light emanating from S1 and S2. All slits are assumed to be so narrow that they can be considered secondary point sources for Huygens wavelets. Slits S1 and S2 are at a distance small d apart, and the distance between the screen and the slits is capital D. Capital D is much greater than small d. Since S0 is assumed to be a point source of monochromatic light, the secondary Huygens wavelet leaving S1 and S2 always maintain a constant phase difference and have the same frequency. The sources S1 and S2 are then said to be coherent. Now, what is coherent waves? By coherent waves, we mean the waves are in phase or have a definite phase relationship. The term incoherent means waves have random phase relationship. Also, because S1 and S2 are at the same distance from S0, the amplitudes of the two Huygens wavelets are equal. Young used sunlight where each wavelength formed its own pattern, making the effect much more difficult to see. In the following discussion, we illustrate the double slit experiment with monochromatic light, that is light of single wavelength, to clarify the effect. Figure 2 shows pure constructive interference in part A and destructive interference in part B of two waves having the same wavelength and amplitude. Now we can see that when light passes through narrow slits, the slits act as a source of coherent waves and light spread out as semicircular waves. This is shown in this figure 3. Pure constructive interference occurs where waves are crest to crest or trough to trough. Pure destructive interference occurs where they are crisp to trough. The light must fall on the screen and be scattered into our eyes for us to see the pattern. Note that the region of constructive and destructive interference move out from the slits at well-defined angles to the original beam. These angles depend on wavelength and the distance between the slits. To understand double slit interference pattern, we now consider two waves travel from slits to the screen. This is shown in this figure 4. Each slit is at a different distance from a given point on the screen. Thus, different number of wavelengths fit into each path. Wave starts out from the slits in phase, that is crisp to crisp, but they may end up out of phase, that is crisp to trough, at the screen if the path difference in length by half a wavelength, interfering destructively. If the path differ by a whole wavelength, then the waves arrive in phase at the screen, interfering constructively. More generally, we can say that if the path length difference delta L between the two waves is any half integral number of wavelengths, that is 1 by 2 lambda, 3 by 2 lambda, 5 by 2 lambda, etc., then destructive interference occurs. Similarly, if the path length difference is any integral multiple of wavelengths, that is lambda, 2 lambda, 3 lambda, etc., then constructive interference occurs. These conditions can be expressed as equations. Delta L is equals to m lambda for constructive interference and delta L is equals to m plus 1 by 2 lambda for destructive interference. This figure 5 shows how we can determine the path length difference delta L for waves traveling from two slits to a common point on a screen. The screen is at large distance away compared with the distance between the slits. Then the angle theta between the path and the line from the slits to the screen, shown in part B, is nearly the same for each path. In other words, we can say that R1 and R2 are essentially parallel. The lengths of R1 and R2 differ by delta L, as indicated by the two dashed lines in the figure. Simple trigonometry shows that delta L upon D is equals to sine theta, or delta L is equals to D sine theta, where D is the distance between the slits. Combining this equation, this result with equation 1, which we obtain for constructive interference for a double slit, when the path length difference is an integral multiple of wavelength, D sine theta is equals to m lambda for constructive interference. Similarly, to obtain destructive interference for a double slit, the path length difference must be a half integral multiple of wavelength, or d sine theta is equals to m plus 1 by 2 lambda for destructive interference, where lambda is the wavelength of light, small d is the distance between slits, theta is the angle from the original direction of the beam. We call m the order of interference. The equations for double slit interference imply that a series of bright and dark lines are formed. For vertical slits, the light spread out horizontally on either sides of the incident beam into a pattern called interference fringes. This is shown in figure 6. The closer the slits are, the more bright the fringes spread apart. We can see this by examining the equation d sine theta is equals to m lambda. For fixed lambda and m, the smaller d is, the larger theta must be, since sine theta is equals to m lambda upon d. Small d gives large theta, hence a large effect. Referring back to part A of the figure, theta is typically small enough that sine theta is approximately equal to tan theta is approximately equal to ym upon capital D, where ym is the distance from the central maxima to the mth bright fringe and D is the distance between the slit and the screen. Equation 4 may then be written as dym upon capital D is equals to m lambda, or ym is equals to m lambda capital D upon small d. This is the final equation for Young's double slit experiment. Thank you.